Hello, welcome to your new moon energetic reset. This is a place today where we are going to be diving into what this full moon means right here in November, as well as what this means energetically, how we can both clear and activate so that our body energetically can move forward and really work with the moon and this cycle that we are in rather than working against it. So, hop on into your comfy cozies if you're not already. If you're watching live, hi. If you're on the replay, hello. Thank you for being here. Let's hop in. I am going to start by sharing my screen today, and we are going to dive right into a presentation type of format here where we're going to talk about the new moon and we're going to dive into both our activation and our clearing so that we can move forward with these energies that we're in today. So, with that being said, we are in a Scorpio new moon. So think of a Scorpio new moon as if you're walking out into the forest and there's this beautiful deep lake that is still, it's midnight, and you're jumping into this lake. And it's a place where you now get to experience this beautiful, deep, dark depths of what's been hidden within you, what has been sitting here waiting to arise, the stories you tell yourself, the secrets within, the power you've maybe forgotten you hold. So that's really what this Scorpio new moon is about right now. And some themes within this new moon are transformation and letting go of what won't stay. So, by that, I mean transformation and letting go of what won't stay in a sense of what have you been gripping at? What have you been really like digging your fingers in, bloody palms and all, hoping and wishing and forcing to stay that really wants to keep moving forward? Another theme with Scorpio new moons are this undercurrent of the psyche, those hidden wirings that are within us, shared resources, intimacy, and what you give and borrow are all tied into this new moon as well. Your nervous system's capacity to regenerate rather than survive is here as well. And this is good news. This isn't saying that you're completely fired and wired into a way of being that is only in survival. This moon is here to say, hey, looky here, you do not need to be in this state of being anymore. So, when we dive into the Scorpio new moon, we get to really see what it is that is hiding under the surface, right? Remember that analogy with the lake, that dark lake that's still. It's not so much a tornado as you sit and dive into it once you're in that water. It's very still, but around it, there can be tornadoes. There could be energies that are feeling like you're in this massive storm. So, we're going to dive more into that as we move through as well. So, with the Scorpio new moon, we are talking about, right, that storm, what's being stirred up? Old emotional contracts, guys. You might have been in a relationship or friendship or a working collaboration making contracts that have kept you in survival. You made them in a place where you're maybe in desperation or in a place that you're very unaware of what lies within you. And so maybe they're no longer serving you. These are old emotional contracts that you made to survive. That does not mean you made a bad decision. I want to make that very clear. This does not mean you made a bad decision at that point. You did what you needed to do to get to where you are today. And now this moon is saying, hey, you no longer need to be in survival. Let's readdress this and see if it's really still serving you. We're talking also about energetic debts from you or to you, right? Where have you been giving your energy or taking energy, or maybe have given energy that's no longer or has not yet been reciprocated, this is the time where we get to sit with that and reclaim those energies, maybe cutting those cords to those energies so that that energy can resurface back into you in a healthy, bountiful way. We're also looking at with this new moon subtle patterns of powerlessness that might be disguised as safety. Where in your life have you felt, right, in your mind that you were powerless, but it was really just a cascade to keep you safe? So, this moon, as you can guess, has a lot of introspection happening, a lot of moments where we need to just sit in stillness. And that is difficult, right? It's difficult to sit in that space of quiet and really integrate what is coming up, what's in that bottom of that lake. There is also this theme of unseen architecture in your nervous system safe mode. So, where have you been wired to be in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, right? Where, excuse me, where are you ready to reclaim a part of you that might have fled to stay safe, right? Where are you ready to come back home to in a very new, bountiful way so that you can sit in this place of regulation and even just breathe deeply, not just filling that belly, not just filling that chest with air, but really opening up in like that accordion breath, opening up the sides, opening up that back that might have been on high alert. We can now breathe into that space that we've created through finding safety by rewiring and beginning to refire that nervous system, right? Neurons that fire and wire together. We're now in that place of rebuilding those neural pathways so that we can find ease within our body and our mind and our energy. Okay. So that brings us to what's actually happening, right? So we've talked about what's been stirred up. That's what we just did. Before that, we talked about what is really typical of a Scorpio new moon. And now we're talking about what is actually happening right here, right now, today in this new moon energy. And I've sat with this morning and I'm like, what is here? I had a beautiful conversation with another friend who is a beautiful soul in energetics as well. She's lovely, Becky Smith. If you don't know her, you know how much I love her with my whole heart. And we were speaking about what's actually happening here, what's actually showing up. And there's this sense of unlocking the old version of you that you had to keep hidden to survive. It's asking you to release your grip on keeping it hidden so that it can step forth. It's safe for you to take off those masks of survival, to unlock those doors that were slammed shut to keep her safe or him safe or they just to allow yourself to step back into that light and step forward and really truly be seen as the vibrant being you are. So when we step in, it's really a surrender. It's a surrendering to the death grip we've had on ourselves to maintain a sense of control and survive what we've been going through because we've maybe been conditioned or told that we need to hide who we are in order to show up in this world. So right now, there's no more BS. There's no more hiding behind smoke and mirrors. It's really requesting and maybe quite viciously for you to step forward and be seen. So letting yourself release that grip of control and hiding you and let yourself surrender and just be who you are and embrace the beauty of that. There are a lot of hidden wounds that are resurfacing, so they can finally operate as portals, not prisons. So when we think of hidden wounds, things that have happened to us, things that have really changed who we are today, and it's asking for you to allow yourself to tap into them as portals of construction rather than prisons of constriction. So when we allow those wounds to really work with us and allow us to maybe create community and not through victimization. I am not saying be a victim and use that as a way to connect with others. I'm saying doing that work and no longer using those wounds as your identity and allowing yourself to not be the victim, but the victor here. You've overcome this, and look at how far you've come and how you can use your empathy to really allow others to step into that ring with you, holding hands one on one together as community, and really use that as your story to empower you to move forward and heal those generational lines as well. So when we do that, we generally in shamanism, we say when we heal ourselves, we heal 7 generations behind and 7 generations ahead. And that's what we'll be doing a little bit later today with the energetic activation and clearing. So when we look at what's happening as well, we have to consider our nervous system, the rewiring from automatic survival to conscious sovereignty, right? The big theme, if you haven't picked up on it yet, is survival is no longer needed here. You are safe. You are able to find your home, your family, your grounding, your regulation to move forward consciously and in sovereignty. So being able to address what's still here that might need you to be more forthcoming in acceptance so that you can then really begin to dive into that depth of work that might still need to be done, that might have been working on those last little pieces. I'm seeing this beautiful image of, a quilt being cross-stitched and it's flipped over now. We're just tying up all those loose ends before we have that beautiful finished product, that beautiful gift that has been given to us through blood, sweat, and tears. So as we move through, that is what's actually happening here today. So, being able to really allow ourselves to dive into this work, to allow ourselves to be seen and be felt is so, so important. So, what are we going to do with this? We know what's actually happening. We know this old persona that survived trauma is now being called upon to free its grip. We know these hidden wounds are surfacing so they can finally operate as portals, not prisons. And so we get to now allow ourselves to cut those cords to really dive into the energies moving forward. So we're no longer shackled and chained. We are free spirits moving forward in this time and place. So, what does this feel like in your body? If you're like me, I feel a lot in my body. I'm very in tune, and I presume you are too. If you're here, I think that might be a reason why. So, when we talk about everything that's going on, I want you just to take a moment and do a quick pause. Do a quick assessment. What am I feeling in my body? And better yet, maybe describe it as, you were a weather person who is describing the weather to an audience. How are you feeling if you were a weather forecast, right? So just allowing yourself to bring those eyes to a close, taking a nice deep breath into the body, expanding through the sides and the back like that accordion, opening and expanding because we're here now. We're no longer constricting, we're making space. And give me a great big sigh out. Beautiful. What's the internal weather doing today? For myself today, it's sunny with some showers as well. So it's very mixed, and that's absolutely acceptable for you to have a mixed weather forecast. You could be sunny but windy. Things are moving through, maybe rapidly. So just doing a little assessment. Maybe it's stormy inside. Okay, letting whatever is showing up show up authentically and just being honest with yourself. How is my weather forecast today within? What's my internal temperature, right? So, what also might be coming up today is this feeling of no more. I will no longer accept less than. No more. scarcity, no more shame. Whatever that looks like, these patterns that you once lived by may be quietly and internally screaming, no more. I'm done. I am done. And it could just be, I'm done with this conversation that is on repeat, right? Maybe you're done living or being or with some habits that you've fallen into. You're done with that. No more. And maybe if you want to take it a little bit further, noticing how you feel when you say, I'm done, right? If you think about maybe nutrition wise, maybe you have been not living to your highest and best and really diving into some unhealthy nutritional habits, right? What shows up in your body when you think about that? Maybe your stomach begins to churn or squeeze. Maybe there's some tension, right? Just being honest with what comes up as we notice what's actually here within our internal system. So, releasing comes with reclamation, right? When you know what it is that you're saying no more to as we move through this energy cycle, we can also need to state, affirm, reclaim that this part of me deserves respect, healing, and dignity. So I will no longer dot, 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 dot. Just because I did this, dot, 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 I will no longer accept this habit, dot, 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 right? Just like reframing. Let's reframe what it is we've been doing to bring in a reason as to why we're no longer doing it, but not doing it in a state of shame, doing it because we deserve health, we deserve worthiness, we deserve to feel great in our body, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. So you may feel pulled towards deeper self-witnessing also, rather than doing. So instead of maybe changing a habit, maybe you're being called to sit with yourself and really notice what's happening, what's going on, what's showing up for you. And if that's the case, I really encourage you to take some time, maybe set a timer. I love to use Insight Timer. It's fabulous. And set the clock for maybe 30 minutes. Challenge yourself if you wish. And just allow yourself to sit there and be still and notice what comes up, right? We have this preconceived notion that meditation is about finding silence, when really it's about noticing what's arising in that silence, what's showing up in this silence. So I encourage you to do that if you wish to sit in self-witnessing rather than shifting what's here through a habit. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does, but bear with me if not. So let's get to it. Okay? Let's get comfy cozy. We're going to do a little bit of nervous system reset activation with this beautiful, spicy Scorpio moon. And I encourage you to witness what's coming up, yes, but also offering the courage to enter the unknown. This might feel really odd to dive into if you've never worked with me before, if you've never come to any of my events or witnessed a one-on-one session where we dive into this energetic activations. I also encourage you to be open and willing to feel the depth without drowning in it, right? We're going to feel it, tap into it, and sense it, but we don't want to stay there. We want to be able to move through it, surrender, right? That key word at the beginning of today was surrender. So allowing yourself to surrender to it so you can move forward. And then be ready. Have that readiness to re-anchor into whatever it is that comes forward, whether that's identity and truth or empowerment or, letting yourself come back out and be seen. Your most authentic version of you, that playfulness maybe is ready to emerge, letting yourself really step into what's coming forth, not into survival. We're coming into that place of ease. And sometimes ease feels scary because it's different than what we've been feeling. It's not common from what we've been feeling. We like to stay in the comfortable until we become so uncomfortable in that uncomfortable that we are forced to change. So, yes, growth and a different energy, even though it might be healthy, might feel like danger. So, really allow yourself to be mindful and have that discernment. Is this for my highest and best? And if so, step in and really embrace it, even if it feels uncomfortable. Okay. So, because Scorpio is ruled by transformation, our body system might just respond with waves of intensity. It might feel like powerful emotions or sensations squeezing within the body through, like, these are what I call visceral messages, right? It might also bring forth a sense of old energy shaking loose or the desire to purge. Lots of people, when I work with them after, they're like, oh my gosh, I just went home and took a big donation to Goodwill. I feel like I need to clear this out, declutter, but also declutter within. So, doing a detox, it might ask you to retreat, it might ask you to regenerate. So, really allow yourself to ground into your nervous system. We're going to use the tool of breath, we're going to sweep, we're going to call in different things. So just bringing in that surrender. I know I'm like a broken record here. Allow yourself to be seen using your breath. Know I'm here with you. And if anything is not feeling right for you, again, take it like a grain of salt. Take what resonates, release what doesn't, and let's move forward with this together. Alrighty, so getting into our comfy, cozy spot, you can lay down, you can sit in a comfy chair, whatever that feels best for you, whatever that feels best for you. That does not make any sense, but bear with me here today. Whatever feels best for you, find that space and that place to gain some comfort and some ease. Maybe give those shoulders a big squeeze as you inhale, squeezing those shoulders up to the ears for 3, 2, 1, and dropping them down with a two more times. Inhale, squeeze. And exhale, drop down. And this time as we inhale, inhale through that back body, that accordion, let those lungs expand out the sides and in the back. So inhale, shoulders to ears, squeeze, 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 and exhale. Settling in, bringing those shoulders back and down, letting them drop in, creating space between your ears and your shoulders to let that body and that energetic body know that it's safe, that it's allowed to relax here, right? When we're tensed and stressed, we tend to bring those shoulders up to the ears. So to intentionally create that space to signal that there is calm here, okay? So just settling in, maybe tucking that tailbone if it feels good for your body, letting your roots grow heavy, whether that is your back body or your sits bones, letting yourself really sink in. I'm going to close my eyes because I tend to channel when we move into this space. So I just find closing my eyes is the best for my personal experience. Invitation to close yours as well, or put a mask or a blanket or anything over top of those eyes. Beautiful. So just again, doing that gentle scan. What is within my body? Where is my body maybe holding tension? Just noticing here today. And noticing with love and compassion, right? We're not shaming ourselves for having tension within the body or dis-ease within the body. Very much the opposite. We're moving into this with this sensation and this energy and this intention of self-love and compassion. We've been through a lot in our lives. So let's offer ourselves that love and compassion here. So letting yourself gently scan from crown to toes and toes to crown. Where am I holding tension? Beautiful. And as we scan, we're just going to move into that gentle breath. So I almost said breeze. So letting that breath come into the body like a gentle breathe, invitation to inhale in and exhale. Noticing if that breath is shallow in the chest, if it's moved into the belly, or if it's expanding and creating space into that back and side body. Invitation to work towards that accordion breath, filling up the back body with the breath, allowing all the skin on the face to relax, allowing the tongue to fall, removing itself from the roof of the mouth. Letting the neck and the shoulders find some ease. The arms and hands growing heavy. Letting the torso and spine gently relax. So you're being held like an infant being cradled by their mother, that back body being cradled by the energies of love and compassion, letting yourself surrender further and further. Coming into that pelvis and womb space. If you don't have a womb, just that cavity within the pelvis, drawing our attention there. And that exhale brings a surrender and an ease as we let go. Letting the legs and knees relax. And even those feet completely let go. That breath moving through you now. And maybe you are envisioning it like a gentle breeze, those pieces within you like leaves, and that breath just grazing past, becoming aware of what's here within you. As you bring that breath in, up that front body from toes to nose, letting it sweep up and overhead, and exhale from head to heels. Inhale, toes to nose, sweeping up and over, and exhale, head to heels, letting go, moving through once again. Inhale and exhale, letting go, letting that breeze continue to move through you, inviting this beautiful golden light to begin to weave like a spider's web, flexibility and strength, yet spaciousness, to allow anything to pass that's no longer needed. This web of protection, protecting your own boundaries here. Letting it sweep in and around you as if to weave our circle together today. Knowing that this web that's weaving and has woven is of the highest, most healing frequencies. It has the energies of the goddess, the mother, all that is. Energies of the earth and the sky and the waters and the winds woven within it, offering you guidance, offering you support. And what I'm hearing is reverence as well. And as we allow ourselves to bask within these energies, we're asked to step forward, envisioning ourselves stepping forward to that dark lake that we mentioned at the beginning of our time together today. Just envisioning this beautiful, mystical, dark lake out in front of us. And over the lake, this beautiful, cool breeze begins to flow, maybe brushing past your cheeks and your hair. You can see the moon, the starlights glistening above you, reflecting off this still, dark lake. You can smell the sweetness of the forest surrounding you. And as you do so, you hear this calling to you, this whisper asking you, what are you ready to let go of? What have you hidden? What have you hidden away that you're no longer wishing to keep hidden in that box? Are you ready to let go of that armor? Are you willing to let go of that front, that shield, that armor that's hidden and locked you away? Or maybe what have you disowned would be another way of addressing that. What piece of you have you disowned? Maybe it was your voice because someone told you to be quiet or stop singing. Maybe you're recalling it back now. Maybe it's a free way of being. Maybe you love to be silly and goofy and you were told to sit down and be quiet in your desk in school, and that just hit a marker for you that forced you to put that joyfulness, lock her away. Maybe joy is stepping forward now. Just taking a few moments. What have I disowned? What have I hidden? What's ready to reemerge? And as you do so, you bring your hands up to your lips and you breathe in to the body, letting that golden light come in with that breath. And as you exhale, blowing that wish of what you're ready to no longer hide, what you're ready to recall back to you, that intention into those hands. Like stardust, that breath fills the hands, bending down, offering that wish, that desire, that recall of self into the water. Letting those hands touch the depths of the darkness, letting those Pieces and particles of stardust wash away into the darkness. Reminding yourself that the darkness is just an illusion. The lake, once the light shines upon it, is actually a beautiful, glistening, transparent blue. That blue of speech and throat chakra, speaking your truth, being your truth. And so, as you know that here today, the lake invites you to dip your toes into the water. Maybe you want to go for a swim. Just allowing that energy body to do either or. Swim, float, dive in, dip your toes in. In celebration, recalling those pieces of you that you've hidden away, that you've disowned, celebrating her, him, celebrating yourself. And as you swim and allow yourself to be within those waters, your body begins to illuminate this beautiful, vibrant blue that you have not yet seen. It's like that scene in Beauty and the Beast where he transforms from beast to his true identity, you yourself transforming from the version of you that was made in survival to this beautiful form of authenticity, of vibrance, of love. And as you do that, the birds begin to sing, the wind begins to blow, and the sun now begins to rise, stepping out from those waters. A new day, a new time, a new place. You are here. And so I invite you as you continue to walk out of those waters, just taking note of how you're feeling as we continue to sink into this new energy body we are in. We invite that vibrance of the Scorpio new moon to wash over us in that darkness, yet in that lightness too. Because the beauty of this moon is that although it be dark, it shed lights on what's been hidden in the shadows and invites you to bring forth those pieces of you that are so worthy of being here, being in the light, being celebrated. So as you stand there in your mind's eye, this golden light, like a vine, starts to come up your toes and up those legs and up the pelvis, the chest, the arms, the throat, the head. And it's like you shine and expand out like a great big star, saying, "Here I am." This vibrance, this heightened sense of self, almost this goddess energy just illuminates from you. And yes, if you are masculine, that goddess energy can shine from you. It is the creator, it is all that is. Letting that beauty of self, of reverence, of sovereignty shine through you here today. And as that light continues to shine and the body drips and drops dry from that exposure into that beautiful lake, those drops are those pieces that are no longer serving you. And they're dripping and dropping away and drying up. And in doing so, they're going back into the earth. They're going back to nurture and support someone or something that may find use of those pieces on their journey here today. Knowing that all that we move through is cyclic, and just giving thanks as we bring our hands to our heart and maybe our womb or our abdomen, offering thanks and gratitude, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Bringing that breath in now up the back body in celebration. This bright white light shines up the back body as the breath moves from heels to head and slides down from nose to toes. Ooh, got a little jolt of energy there. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, heels to head. And nose to toes, rather. 1 more time. Beautiful. Thank you so much for moving through that meditation and journey with me today. By moving through that journey, we really acknowledged what was in the shadow aspects of self. We were invited in to call forth, using our own divinity, our own inner strength, to call forth those pieces, to offer them in to that lake, which, if we're going to look at metaphors, that lake, if you are female, would be that womb space, that center of creation, that Mother Earth, that goddess within us that we are all birthed from. And we stepped into that place of darkness. And as we did so, we shed the energy of disbelief and of survival, and we allowed ourselves to be nourished in celebration and love and worthiness of who we are under all those layers of all those, you know, chapters of survival. We let ourselves come back to the surface to be seen and celebrated because we know we're worthy. We just had to surrender to move through and to be held and supported. And I want you to know that I got you. If you don't have yourself, I got you. And we have you. You are never alone on your journey. It is something that I live by is no one should have to heal alone. No one should have to move through life alone. So if you are not in the community, Frequency and Flow, the beautiful community we have already, please feel free to sign up. We would love to have you there. I do events very frequently and regularly. I also work one-on-one with you individually to work on your own specific energetic body. And really, when we're feeling stagnant or stuck, or we've been moving through a lot and the Western medical system might not be able to help us, we've done all the work, or maybe we're just getting started and we just don't know where to turn. This is a great collaboration to work together to really allow you to move into that space of where you need to go next with authenticity and with sovereignty and with alignment. So I would love to sit with you if that is something that feels aligned. I am here for you, and I want to thank you today as you go through the rest of your day. Lots of fluids, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Feel free to reach out and take care of yourself. Thank you so much.